to another pole tutorial. Today we're going to work on our walks. So first we're going to work on them from the floor, and then we're going to go ahead and start working on them up high. Pole walks are one of those things a lot of people struggle with, and I think it is mostly due to not using the hips enough and using a little bit too much knee. So we're going to go ahead and get started. We're going to sit down on the floor first, and we're going to do this without the pole, and then we're going to work on that first, and then we'll take it to the pole. So we're going to lay on our back flat, or if you prefer to be elevated, you can be on your elbows. It's really up to you. If you're on your elbows, you're going to work your abs a little bit more, just know that. Feet are going to go up, and then from here, if you have a mirror, I want you to be, your outer thigh is going to be facing the mirror so that you can see what this looks like in the mirror. Now, most of the time, whenever people do walks and they're first starting out, they go like this, right? They bring their knees in like they are riding a bike, but we're not riding a bike, we're walking. So, what we want to do is we're actually going to utilize our hips, and we're going to draw our front hip in first, and then slightly bend the knee, and then as we bring that hip in, we're going to shift to the back one. So it's just a very small moment that's happening. It's not a big bend, it's a very small bend, like a little micro bend. And we're utilizing our hips more than anything, not our kneecaps. So if you are doing this correctly, you should be able to look up at your flat ceiling and it look like you are taking little tiny steps on the ceiling. Now, if you are dragging back a little too much, it's gonna look a little silly unless you're going for some hip waves with it. So we want small movements, and the reason why we want small movements is so that it looks like we are gliding rather than taking big honking steps, right? However, if you're adding your hip waves into it, you're gonna go ahead and shift your hips as one knee comes back. You're going to be bringing that hip and that oblique in, squeezing everything to that side, and then switching to the other side. Once you feel comfortable with this, we're going to go ahead and take this up to the floor. Now that we've gotten comfortable with our leg waves on the floor, remember we are looking at the ceiling and we are walking like we would normally, gliding, right? Cute little glides. We're just walking like we normally would. Cute glide, glide, glide. So when you do it on the pole, you don't really have the ceiling to look at, but you do have the floor. And so for the first 500 times you do this, you might look at the floor, and that is totally okay. There is nothing wrong with that. So we kind of want to keep that same concept, but now because our hips aren't bent like that, we're going to have to utilize our hip movement just a little bit more in the air, right? So we're going to get into our split grip. Make sure that you are pulling in through your top shoulder and pushing out through your bottom arm so that you're utilizing more core movement in this. And then from here, we're going to bring ourselves out. And then same thing, we're going to take our toes up to the pole and hip, 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 hip. Perfect. That completes our mini airwalk tutorial, and have a good day.